The coroner's just handed down findings from the inquest into the death of Kumanjayi Walker. He was an Aboriginal man who was shot by police officer Zachary Rolfe in 2019. This happened in Yuendumu, a community in the Northern Territory. Now, if that sounds a bit familiar, it might be because just a few weeks ago, I made a video about another Aboriginal man from the same community who was killed by police this year. His name was Kumanjayi White. So Zachary Rolfe was charged with murder after he shot Kumanjayi Walker, but he was acquitted. After the trial, more evidence has come to light in the coronial inquest. So we heard things like the tactical group of the Northern Territory Police had a racist awards ceremony called this, and Rolfe and the other officers would regularly call Aboriginal people the N-word. The coroner, Elizabeth Armitage, was blunt in her assessment, saying Mr. Rolfe was racist and he worked in and benefited from an organisation with the hallmarks of institutional racism. And she said she couldn't rule out whether this racism was a contributing factor to Kumanjayi Walker's death. She also found that Zachary Rolfe had used unnecessary force during at least 5 previous arrests, and he shared body cam footage of arrests with his friends and family. Again, to quote the coroner, because he thought causing them serious injury was funny. Looking at the inquest more broadly, the coroner made 32 recommendations. Now, the report is over 600 pages long. These are just my initial impressions, but some of these seem really good, returning power to the local community. So that means things like more Aboriginal-led youth services or restricting the police use of firearms in Yuendumu. And there's a bunch of smaller recommendations around changing police procedures for hiring and training. There's an uneasy tension with reports like this, where it's clear that the police are institutionally racist, they're an occupying force on Aboriginal land, and their presence in these communities causes a lot of harm. And the report kind of gestures towards this idea that the police themselves are the problem. But the coroner is a liberal institution. They're never going to recommend sweeping societal changes that get to the root of the problem. So all the recommendations are procedural, they're couched in compromise and qualification. And the police themselves will probably resist the recommendations, as will the country Liberal government in the Northern Territory. So while we should fight for justice on all fronts that we can, we should be careful of relying on the coroner or royal commissions to fix our problems for us. The system won't dismantle itself.